It's going, so whenever you are.
Yeah. Yeah, 15 seconds, I'll start. Let's move to order. Let the record show everyone's present except for Councilperson Jacobson. We'll begin the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have one resolution, or one addition to the agenda. Will be number 7. That's a resolution 02-17-2026 regarding the hazard mitigation plan. Do we have any other additions to the agenda? Not. There a motion to approve? A second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried, and everybody here is on the agenda, so I'm not going to open the public forum unless you had something other than utility rates that anybody want to talk about. Okay. All right. In your packet are the minutes of the regular meeting of January 2026. Are there any additions, corrections, or questions regarding any of those minutes? Hearing none, those then stand approved as printed. We'll move on to the claims, and there is the sheet with about half a dozen.
Late comes arrived today, but there's also the sheet that looks a little different than usual because we didn't have the last week, so we have to approve everything that's been cut in the interim. So, which is kind of a more exhaustive list than you guys usually see because it has all the union dues and all that stuff. That
exit realty.
Yeah, it's just the earnest money check. It hasn't actually been sent. I still have it on my desk, so.
Okay. Is there a copy of it? Well, that's coming.
Other than that, they rejected our first offer.
Any questions or comments on the claims? Is there a motion to approve? So moved.
Wait, I had one more question.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
On the Hibiscus tree, what is it? What is that just thrown back in?
So Hibiscus, frankly, has a tough time going throughout this year. So we get
We're just
one
getting into the meeting.
So this is for
2020.
Parks, boulevards, everything.
Everything.
We've had
Other than what Jerry does.
We had a discussion every year.
Yeah.
Because it is frustrating for us, bookkeeping
So
wise.
this is actually work from last year that would have been nice to have been paid.
Yep, and we're accrual, so we can book the liability in our audit, but it's still
Hangs out there. Anything else? We had a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Blake was the first.
Yeah. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Anything for notices and communications?
And I going up for Capitol in March. We had a couple meetings ago. Got most of our appointments scheduled already.
Excellent. Okay. How about under pending? Anything in there?
Have we met since Blake and I did the evidentiary hearing? I don't think so. You want to do a little update there, Blake, or you want me to? It doesn't matter. We Blake and I went up to the PUC. Thought we were going to the Office of Administrative Hearing building, but it was at the PUC building, so we got a little walking tour of downtown St. Paul. Luckily, we were all and early. So basically, in a nutshell, what this hearing was is you have your rounds of testimony, your direct, your rebuttal, and your surrebuttal from both sides. And this evidentiary hearing was basically both sides' opportunity to orally pick that apart, cross-examine it from both sides. So they called our witnesses, we called theirs. Blake and I were not called. That was kind of a last-minute deal, and which was regardless, we were going to be fine. And ask questions and try to get weaknesses and identified and stuff like that. So judge presides over the hearing, and it was about 8:30 to 3 o'clock, the lunch break in there, and it went well, in my opinion. I could probably saying the same thing, but I think our team did a very, very good job. They were very well prepared. Josh Weir from Kennedy Graven was the point on it, and there was Mr. Andrew Biggerstaff was a gentleman who kind of helped, hand them things and say this and say that. But there was its full fledged like objection, and there was a couple of those, and um, yeah, it was just the next step in the process. So now they take that, you get to file a brief, which is basically everything that you disagree with what they said in person from that day, and then that is the last piece of oral or written testimony, and the administrative law judge creates her report, and that gets presented to the PUC. And I think the date on that is April, I believe, sometime April, early May. So, and then from there, it's up to the PUC to decide what they're going to do. Miss anything?
Yeah. Okay. Any questions on that? Anything else under pending?
Nope.
All right, with no unfinished business, we'll move on to new business, and we're gonna have a discussion regarding the out-of-town water and sewer rates.
Yeah, so certainly allow folks in the audience to speak if desired, but just as a general summary, in our completely revamped our fee schedule from previous years, 20 years, and effective 1/1/26 for usage starting 1/1/26. So the February bills were the first ones that went out for January usage with the new rate structure. And for out of towners, we doubled the base fee and double or tripled the per the usage charge. And so instead of $4 per 1,000 gallons, it's $12 per 1,000 gallons. And instead of $55 for the base fee, it's $110. So there was frankly, most of the out of towners have contacted me in some way, shape, or form, contacted City Hall and expressed their displeasure in that and asked us to reconsider. And just verbalizing that it seems like a really, really big jump and a lot of money. And I was asked by council, what are other cities doing? I have a little bit of a summary there. There are a few other towns, some big, some. This is not an exhaustive one, but this Chat GPT helped me find there. Point out Jackson and Pipestone. Pipestone is very similar in the fact that they double the base fee and double the rate per they're 100 gallons. So actually, that's $10.03 per 1,000 gallons for just their in-town people. So as an aside, $4 per 1,000 gallons for us doesn't seem so bad.
Yeah.
Pipestone is very expensive. Yeah, anybody wish to say anything?
Well, I'm wondering where you get the 110. You said you doubled it when you got this that came out that it says the City of Slayton has adopted updated water and sewer rates effective January 2026, and right here it says $55.
Yeah, what Mr. Davidson is referring to was unfortunately a clerical error on my part. That when we passed the fee schedule in November, but hadn't yet passed the actual ordinance, I had scheduled a post following the council meeting day to go live with a more detailed version of the letter that went out directly. So the letter that went out direct mail to people did not have as much detail and subheadings as the website page did. But this is what they're referring to. How are water rates different for customers living outside the city of Slayton? Triple usage rate, the base monthly charge remains the same for in-city customers, $55 per month. And unfortunately for me, us, that is not what was ended up being passed in the ordinance. That was the double. Now, the end all be all document, the legal document, the public hearing, the published ordinance, that's 110. But it is certainly contradictory to what was on the website up until last week.
Well, for example, mine was $50 in November, 60 in December. Now it's 172. That's a big change.
Yeah, so
Rowdy here, you pay twice.
Yeah, we got two businesses on there, we don't use hardly any water, I mean, the Napa just got a little holding tank for two people, we just run power washers a little bit, and that's it.
I'm just wondering how come you doubled that 55 because we're paying triple already.
Come in, Danny. Have a seat.
well,
You know,
triple would be 3 times if you
we did that, we are paying 3 times on the 1,000 gallon.
No, but prior to that, you were paying 3 times the base as well. And
Okay.
I'm the one that brought this up in the discussion, because prior to us, we actually walked that back. It would have been 3 times 55 plus 3 times the rate. We did, that's how it ended up double. Because prior to this, you were paying 3 times the base rate and 3 times the usage rate. That's where the $30 per month for water came up with, and it was just 10 was the single rate before. And then the double whammy for people that only have just water or sewer is the fact that now we don't differentiate. There's no way to differentiate between just water or just sewer. It's one utility and it's one base rate for everything. And like, for instance, you just using water, like for instance, the decades prior to this, the vast large amount of money of that we've spent on rehabilitation has been dedicated to water. We've hardly spent anything on sewer lately. And so it was really unfair. We tried to make things a lot more equitable. And sometimes in doing that, there's a big correction that gets made. One of the things, for instance, Dick, I own part of the village apartments down there. And that $55 is something that is based on per address. And prior to that, we were only paying the base rate on the sewer per address. At any rate, our water and sewer bill at that apartment building went from about $340 to over $700. And I was part of that discussion. I was fine with that because it was equitable and it made it realistic for everybody. It just, there were some
So how many units?
12,
12 units, we're paying 700.
yeah, over
I'm
700,
paying 172 for one.
right? But you're out of town.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but
Yeah.
triple water rate, it should cover it. I mean, this extra 110 to us really seems unreasonable. Is it, Wally, you really think that's reasonable?
Well, we basically, everybody in town got the same percentage increase, roughly. And we were not solvent before, and this is what it took to make things cash flow. It's the same percentage increase that pretty much everybody got. Yours slightly more because you don't have the sewer. But if you would have been paying the sewer bill,
$110.
right? But percentage wise, that's the same as
300%. That's 300%.
Yeah.
If I was a resident, I would pay, it's still gonna pay, well, on 5,000 gallons, I'm gonna pay $60, the resident's gonna pay 20.
No,
That's, the basis is the resident.
if you were a resident, you'd pay the $55 per month base fee, and that's it. And then
77.
yeah,
That'd be $77, right?
right.
Yeah.
So, and I'm paying 172, that's darn near $100 more this would be, that seems like a lot.
Mhm.
I mean, you understand where it's coming
I do understand where you're coming from, and one of the reasons, a lot of the other towns are like that is because it's a way to help. You're not paying any city taxes at all, and like the fire department relies on that water system, and you're getting the benefit of uh, the same PEEP insurance. Or if you talk to people that live out at the lake, their insurance is about double what ours is in town because we don't have that fire company.
We are paying for water. We are paying something.
Right. Well, that's where it helps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the avenues of of getting that revenue from someone that lives outside of town that is on the system.
In Mark pays, I mean, we're paying like supposedly 110, and I mean, in December, my hydrant goes into a 5-gallon pail.
Mhm.
Sure.
Tip
And
the pail over 3 times.
yeah, and in your systems, I mean, we talked about this before. If you wanted to be completely disconnected from it, that would be an option too. Or you can dig a well. I mean, you have the option since you're out of town. Nobody
Yeah,
in
I
town
realize
has
that.
those
I
options.
know, but you're penalized.
You say in here that for the infrastructure and maintenance costs associated with serving the properties,
Mhm.
we just put a new line in last summer.
This is all
Check out.
the main lines.
Yeah.
The main lines, not the line that you own. These are the main lines under the streets to serve everybody.
And the water
Not
treatment.
not your. These are the main lines. These are the wells, the water towers, the pumps, all of that stuff, regardless whether you use half a gallon of water or a 5-gallon bucket per month or 6,000 gallons per month. Those costs are the same. And a lot of the other utilities, Noel's Cooperative Electric is one of them. A few years ago, it used to be that the high rate users are the ones that were paying the bills for everything. So the more you use, the more you paid. And if you didn't hardly use anything at all, you didn't hardly pay anything at all. But there's a cost to having that service and infrastructure there, the pipes underground, water tower, the pumps, everything, whether you use any water or not. Those are the fixed costs that don't go away. And when you simply divide those out amongst everybody, we felt that that was the most equitable and appropriate way of doing it, is basing it on that way, not on usage. So that's where that comes from.
Okay, then, so if we went into the city limits, why would the water be cheaper? I mean, we're not changing anything. It's not gonna change anything. It's not gonna
Sure it is.
change.
You're paying city
Yeah,
tax.
because then
City taxes.
you'd be paying city taxes.
You know what that would increase?
Well, it's your decision.
That's right. It didn't take
Yeah,
me long
yeah.
to figure that out.
Do you have to be on the city sewer then too?
Um, if in your particular case, it's known, there are still to this day a couple of other people that are in city limits that are not on city sewer. And as long as that's functioning, the
We don't require
the
you.
law states that you can be on.
Mhm.
The interesting part about you, and now with the rate structure, whether you're on you could be on city sewer and it would cost you literally nothing extra for them
It cost me a lot to
to hook up to it.
Yeah.
That would have been a lot cheaper to hook up to it than put in a septic system.
I know. I kind of looked into that.
Okay.
A long way. No, it was about the same at the time.
Okay.
Sure.
But that is an option. But no,
The
you're
line
yeah,
from the shut off to our house, we're responsible for it.
yep, we all are.
Right.
Even in town you are. Yep.
So there's no extra maintenance there.
Won't do anything with the line all the way from the county road to me, right? You take it to my curb stop at my property. So,
Your curb stops are over on like the west side of your property, right?
yeah, right.
Yeah, but that line comes from that ditch.
Yeah, we put that curb.
You
stop
did
in.
the new building, you just kind of tapped onto your existing, thinking of like a 2-inch line that runs up there. And then tap that new
Yeah,
building.
they're both on
on.
the same
They're
curb
both
stop.
on that same line. I guess I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't,
We have to look into that road.
yeah, typically speaking, I don't want this to be gospel by any means. But typically speaking, in that particular instance, you help pay for the initial service up to your property line, then it kind of becomes ours and we would take care of it.
Anything outside your
That's what this would also go toward paying for, but like to know the
That-
specific
that
circumstances.
Some lenses and then over toward Baumgartner and over toward you, that was all private. Was being there. But I mean, we've taken over maintenance up there, fix some water breaks, fix the new hydro maintenance. There's less say the entirety of that going to you would be.
Then in my case, from that
Before the
cross, no, is it mine, the city takes care of that?
You know, it's kind of the same situation as Rowdy's, you know what I'm saying, is what's not on your property, we would probably assume that, you know what I mean? If there was a break or something, needed to be taken care of.
Cause it's on the edge of town,
Mhm.
you know, it's bought the farm ground.
Yep.
So my property is the distance from.
Correct. Yeah.
So then the city's responsible for that part, if you're saying.
Well, we're not saying that 100%, we'd have to look into it and see how it all got done initially. Who paid for what, but there's an avenue.
Yeah.
Cause your line's long. I think it's just a
Yeah.
1 inch coming into the basement there.
I think
Maybe
it's
an inch
1
and a
inch
half.
coming in, but
But that's, you know, when we shut the water off to fix that break, you got killed on that. So that comes all the way to that hydrant that lenses. I don't know how it gets there. Never seen it.
all I was told that it came from that corner there,
Mhm.
side of town.
Like, does it go into the
Fire
field?
hydrants.
Does it go in the boulevard all the way up and then over? I have no idea.
But
That's-
originally, the structure for the water system, infrastructure designed to furnish water to people in the city limits and stuff. And when I asked to hook on my office where the business is, I was told I couldn't hook on, the city wasn't allowing anymore to hook up to city water.
Unless you annex it.
So
Yeah,
I ended up putting my own well in. That you gotta have water in a public place.
Yeah.
So what was the reason for that? You're not letting anyone else outside the city limits hook up?
not outside anymore, no. You have to annex into the city limits to get city water.
It's been that way for quite a while.
Very, very, 20,
Definitely.
30, 40 years probably. For a very long time it's been like.
And people do it.
Yeah, many people do that.
Galen Jensen's property just did it. Not everyone.
Something for the, so you could get water and.
I remember saying the infrastructure was actually designed for the city, when we're tapping off that, we're not overloading the city or anything. So we're actually helping pay the water bill and the infrastructure. And I think everybody here agrees that we should pay extra. We feel the amount of extra is a little much.
An extra $55. I mean, how does the council feel with it? And all this?
Yeah.
Because mine went from,
It's really gone up a lot.
that's my house and I don't use minimum, it's $148.
I guess comment that I'll make, you know, we have, the rates in Slayton have remained the same for how many, 20 years. And that's our mistake. That's the city council's previous mistake by not deciding that we should be making incremental increases because things cost more. You have to keep up with that. And we didn't do that. And so unfortunately, you know, we're all paying, you know, I mean, we just felt like it was necessary.
Right, but,
They are paying now.
but you're right, for 20 years, but prior to us walking that back a little, you were gonna end up paying 3 times that 55 as well. And we did walk that back. We
Well, I
had
know,
this.
but when you start taking things time, you're looking at, you're not going by percentage. Percentages is, I think get way out of hand, you know, when you go by.
It's 3 times, if a dollar's only $3, 3 times 50.
Yeah.
That's where mine, from 50 to 150, which we don't use the minimum. That's just for the house.
So our bills are real, our mine are up.
Yeah, and you know,
60 to 170, that's going up.
to speak to that, needing to increase, you know,
I realize it all has.
You know, like I said, things were cash flowing pretty well up until about 4 or 5 years ago, and things just suddenly, everything went up so much. And I hate to get on this thing about our rates, but our rates are still amongst the cheapest.
Yeah,
in
even
Region
not
8.
that that's any
I
consolation,
know,
but what you're paying right now is still less than what an intern person is paying in the city of Laverne. The city of Laverne in town is paying over $200 a month.
Mhm.
Everybody in the whole town is. So even, well, yes,
Right.
yep.
Same with Mike.
Yeah, Tracy's over $100 just in town, about $120.
I think three going 60 or
Mhm.
what's I own them already, you know?
I don't own a house there anymore.
Okay.
I think it's 120.
It's over 100. It's 120.
Yeah, I think it was going up to 120.
Well, not necessarily advocating, just summarizing what I've heard here. The $12 per thousand doesn't seem to really be an issue. Understand that the out of town, you know, justified to pay a higher usage rate. Is there any appetite for the council here to consider a different base fee? Is really what it's supposed to.
Well, if we paid on water usage, I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, the bill would practically be negligible.
Agree, but
Mhm.
I do feel we all feel we should have to pay more because we're outside. We just feel
You're having an instance now from a billing standpoint, you know, that there's a lot of people that it doesn't move over. And so because we're not including any usage, whether they're in town or out of town or commercial industrial, we're not including any usage or any allowance in the base fee of usage. So whereas before it was $10 got you 2,000 gallons of water, now it's just $4 per 1,000 gallons. There are lots of people that it only rolls over every other month. So they're getting their 55 and then 59 and 59. And so I would probably say the people in this room right now, in the audience here, are most people. Maybe every 2 or 3 months that it rolls over to the next thing.
how many people outside of the city limits are actually hooked up to the city water?
There's 9.
9 is up. Yeah, I thought it was probably 9.
Mhm.
6 that are water only, 2 that are sewer only, and only 1 that is both water and sewer.
And I think it probably was more than that 20 years ago, but there's been a number that have annexed in here too.
Yeah.
Are you paying double on the base and the water?
You're paying
Triple
double.
the water.
Yeah. You used to pay triple on the base and triple on the water, and then like Dick said, it went way up and it was double on. Now, as it sits, it's double on the base and triple on the water. Now that we're a little bit more in line with other utilities and everybody, a lot of what we saw is all in that basically double the pricing. I wouldn't be so inclined to walk back the base, but I would be more inclined to walk back instead of it being triple rate, double, which isn't going to be a lot, but that is something.
I understand when you say double.
Double base and double rate instead of double base and triple.
Well, we are double.
Yeah, but you're triple rate.
But,
But you're triple, you're 3 times the rate.
yeah.
And just so that they're more consistent, that would be something that I would be. What's your feelings, Mr.?
I
I mean, I know they're going to say, right? I mean, that's not, because that's
That would
it's not going to be very impactful for the customer.
that would basically put the bills at exactly double rather than double plus what that would be.
My thoughts are this.
$8 a gallon.
Yeah.
Rather.
Yes.
My thoughts are this from a 30,000 level. I'm sympathetic to the concerns here. I really am. It was a large jump. I think percentage wise, Mr. Davidson is probably correct there, that it probably was a higher percentage than the in-town people. Right, we also have to be cognizant of the slippery slope argument, that if we start, where does the walking back end? Because we did the fiscal analysis, we had a couple meetings on this, we had a couple workshops on it, we have our auditors telling us for 3 years in a row that we're to be in the red, and here we are, and
we got a whole bunch of, from the area cities and what the rate was. It makes sense.
for example, I know that the multi-unit housing people are not happy with it. Could be same type of situation. We're in this gallery that's set up the out-of-town people and housing people. We Blake stays in a chair and going to the gallery, but they're not overly pleased either, because it was, that was the base fee times housing unit, whereas before it was one water charge and the sewer per housing unit.
So have you guys implemented anything then every year it's gonna go up so much, or
We have
every
not.
3 years or 5 years?
No,
We have not yet.
What the notion was is to basically rip the Band-Aid off and make things whole. And hopefully we can keep it there and reevaluate as needed, but we do not have any inflationary
Right.
automatic things going on. This is really what it,
I feel if you don't raise them so much every couple of years anyhow, you were to be in the same situation in 10 years.
Well, we're not gonna ignore it like you got.
no, can't do that.
That's why
I did make a point.
it's been a very recent thing. It's not like it's for 10 years. It was only about 3 or 4 years ago.
Well, this is a thing. This,
Mhm.
I mean, that's what it
It
was.
was.
It went sky high after that, and I'm gonna say on behalf of myself, and I think the other
Mhm.
people here, we were really hoping things were gonna back off more than they did, and they didn't. That's the reality that we live in now, but that, I believe, is what happened. This is COVID.
And we've
it's
been,
just
and
different.
as a community, we've been very fortunate that we haven't had to do a capital project to replace a ton of the system.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, the anybody with any fiscal wherewithal knows that you need to put some money away for a rainy day, because it will happen at some point in time. We will need to make those improvements at some point in time. So we kind of have to be empathetic to that as well, when we're planning. At the same time, you look at a community like Pipestone or whatever that's had to do or even Iona or Turry or any of those that have had to do a major overhaul to their system. There's the reason for they're installing stuff at today's cost. At whatever rates are for machine, for man and machine and all that, and product, where our infrastructure was put in 50 years ago, and we haven't had to do a lot of upgrading to that. But I mean, at the same time, for you folks that are out of towners, with 2,000 people that are paying city taxes in town, obviously you understand why we are, taxing you a little bit more just because you're hooked onto the system, but you're not, in effect, you're not paying for it annually. I guess the jump at it is, I don't know, short of going away from the double on the base, I don't know how it's gonna make a huge impact on their monthly
The water
costs.
usage is practically negligible.
Right.
You're gonna have to do something on the other side of the line there. The rest would be worthless. Spending is all the same.
Well, with 9 people, when you tripled it, that came to X amount of dollars, which really doesn't amount to that much for the city when you look at the. Right.
Right, those
Right, but like I said, it's not the jump in the rate
Right.
that's the
No,
problem.
that's
It's the
the
jump in the
increase,
base.
that's the extra $55
Right.
times 9 times 12.
Right.
Mhm.
So the point is taken that really in the grand scheme of operations,
It's not, but it's that times 2,000 that is.
Mhm.
And the whole goal behind what we did with combining the rates and spending a fair amount of time on this was to also make it more equitable too.
their base essentially before was like $50. We did not have a triple sewer.
Mhm.
We had triple water.
Oh, a couple of years ago, our base was 33.
Yeah, a buck a day.
Yeah, because it was $10 times 3. So the normal utility rate was $10 in town. You were paying 30. You were paying 3
And
times,
included
and it
2,000
included 2,000 gallons of water.
gallons, which you never had.
They were, yeah, like I told you how much it was.
Mhm.
It's a hand washing situation.
Mhm.
That's
Everybody base essentially was 30
here. You don't carry. Not very long to say.
So it's 45% base. Their base. So what percentages you could say their base fee is $75 instead of percentage of people base fee in town went up.
You know,
Water, triple.
yeah, and the rationale of that base fee is that's the infrastructure cost, the system infrastructure cost.
It's just because could everyone follow in that?
I think so.
That would make more sense, I guess, to me. You know, doesn't matter, but it's actual basis.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
15 years on paper, I got something, you know.
right.
So you guys would actually be better off if you feel like you didn't have anybody outside the city limits, right? So you're offering the service to it, but
Mhm.
doesn't make a difference one way or the other
Mhm.
to you guys, right?
I don't think it would have a huge impact.
No, because there's only 9.
Mhm.
But I'm saying you got that 9. I'm sure you got that figured in.
Yeah, both water usage wise and sanitary sewer usage wise. It's not like we're great, but it's just
Mhm.
Tell me those numbers again, Josh, if you just were saying from what the.
it's 45% increase from everybody's base fee. Base fee, I'm 10 water, 20 sewer. I went to 50.
30 to 50.
So for the out of people, that would have been 30 triple, and then the sewer was 20. So 50 times 1.45 is 72.5.
Mhm.
I just rounded up a little bit and said 7.
Mhm.
The logic there being that everybody's base fee in town and out of town went up the same percentage to Dick's point.
Mhm. Thoughts from anybody else on that?
So if we were to change something, since that's an ordinance, we'd have to go through that process over again.
Mhm. Yeah, publish, have a hearing.
Yeah, but I don't think we had anybody come to the public hearing. That's the unfortunate part. That
Yeah.
you know, when you do that and you bring it out like let's hear you, and then we didn't get anybody to come to the public hearing, which is what that's for. And now we've got the ordinance in place, and now
What happened on that $55? Is that, I think
well, you got a letter in the mail.
That was the type.
That's a typo on the website. But the rest that you got.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
yeah.
But the letter they got had the correct amount, right, John?
Well, the letters that they got though didn't include any detail on how to follow it, because I wanted it only to be a single page from back.
Well, that's yeah. I mean, it isn't a lot of dollars, obviously, because it's nine people outside of the town in it. And yeah, I'd be open to considering the 75 instead.
I consider that could be,
Yeah,
I see it as equitable.
I'd like to think about it a little bit myself, because the one thing that, and no offense to you guys living out of town, but you're not our constituents. We just went through this entire process, and we've had a bunch of citizens in town, the citizens that elected all of us, and none of them made it here. And you guys are out of town and are not paying the city taxes, and they are. That's a big, big thing.
The people that I've talked to since this year aren't thrilled. man.
Nobody's thrilled. Nobody's thrilled.
I'm not thrilled.
But what we're saying is we're not doing anything for the rest of the town, and we're all of a sudden considering doing. We had to do this. There was no choice. We had to. But
Well, they've
to
been getting by cheaper for how many years than we have. We've always been paying more on our shares. I really consider
everybody has. Everybody has.
No, how good everybody. I mean, we're getting double already. I mean,
But we're paying taxes.
We're paying the taxes too,
to
though.
the city for the.
Because you're not
So when
paying
that
city
well goes
taxes.
down, we're
That's-
paying for that. You guys aren't.
That's the deal.
You're paying to a very small percentage compared to what I'm paying in my taxes.
That's the difference.
I'm talking about the well, the water tower.
If you don't think it's that big a deal, you could just annex into the town, and this problem would be solved.
Right. The only thing is, when we went to that township meeting out there and we got that proposal and roof was gonna dump in there, our taxes down there would have went a cool $100 a month up.
Okay, is that's
That's
the one or the other. That's why we're here. You can't have it both ways. It's basically why we're here.
You want to get the benefit of the people that live in town, but you don't want to pay the taxes of the people that live in town.
I suppose if that's the way you look at it, that's.
Well, that's kind of what
That is the
what it
way
is.
we're looking at
We have,
it. It just is.
so we have to write the check, pay the
Yeah.
bills.
We're paying a fair amount of taxes out there too, so.
Mhm.
We're not exempt by any means.
Well, I'm not saying,
No,
but you're not paying
zero.
None of which.
None of them taxes go to the city of
The
Slayton.
city of Slayton doesn't get any.
Those 100% go to the township. None go to the city of Slayton. None of them.
Specifically for you, Mr. Coles, you can't access your property without driving on a city street.
That everybody else is paying for, and you're not.
Don't forget, it pay 40 cents a gallon for fuel tax too.
Yeah, but
That
we don't.
means that
We don't get.
$0.
We don't get
any
that.
of
You
that.
don't get nothing?
No, because
No.
we're in a town of less than zero.
Zero.
We're in a town of less than 5,000 people, so you get zero.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
guess I did find out.
Zero.
Yeah, you gotta
I
be
do
over.
know how much tax are for.
Oh, I hear that, but it.
Yeah.
And that's a lament that if you're under 5,000, you don't get the municipal aid like the county gets the county aid, so.
But
Yeah.
anyww,
Yeah.
We're all in the same boat. Everything keeps going up.
Yeah.
You gotta pay the bill. Electricity, the insurance, you name it, nothing's going backwards and I'm hearing it from all the customers in town.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
upset, but I explained to them, they gotta pay if they're gonna want the stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, where are you gonna go?
Like if I need to change the roof on my house, I have to pay whatever it costs, like.
What the insurance is done to us.
Right.
You know, just they charge you more and cover you less. So it was everything. It's just the way the cycle is going right.
we can table it. I think that's what I'm hearing right now.
I think we need to table
But
it.
just keep in mind, it's only 2 weeks till the next meeting, and then if the council does decide to do something, it's in between, it's 10-day post notice from the public hearings.
All right, we will table this to dig
Have some
into
more.
it some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Do some
coming.
more homework. Appreciate you taking the time to come tonight. Well, you didn't miss out on. Yeah, you missed out on the stuff before. Okay, we'll move on then to the next item, and MMU and dual program training.
Yeah, this is something that caught my eye when I was on the FMUA's website,
Mhm.
which we've been on for many years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's what it stands for, developing utility expertise and leadership.
Mhm.
Now, historically, not something that I would be interested in because we're only in water and sewer, but that
Mhm.
is changing, hopefully. And so the dollar amount is high. It is unbudgeted, but it is like a crash course of everything that you would ever want to know about running a utility from the management and fiscal side. And I saw it and I read through it all and I said, man, this just absolutely seems like something that would be beneficial for me with the seat that I have to attend and
Mhm.
become more well versed in electrical and natural gas specifically.
Mhm.
And then, I'm sure you've read through some of the electives, just from a general management perspective of even non-utility stuff, a good refresher, grant writing, interviewing, that type of stuff. So when Blake and I went up to the cities, I had the brochure in my pocket and we talked about it in the meeting room. And we agreed, and so it's $4,350, 3 nights lodging. So the course 1, 2, and 3, those are described in the packet. It's basically 11 o'clock to 5, and then right away in the morning till like 11. So it's kind of nice that you're not having to. It's over 2 days, but it's like 24-hour total training, if that makes sense. So drive up in the morning, go to class, and then you're home by a decent hour the next day. It's just one night. So I've already looked through the electives. I kind of have the ones that I want. They all work out with my schedule. So budget wise, I'm thinking utility fund or, kind of have the project funds going for our natural gas and electric. And so we could book third, and just reimbursed from the bonding proceeds and move forward, or all water and sewer, or how we want to do it. But regardless, my point is we can find the 4350 somewhere.
I think this is absolutely a
Yeah.
great idea to get this training in here.
Yeah, I do.
There was
One-
a couple really good ones I thought.
I kept reading about this DISC assessment, and I couldn't figure out what that meant.
Oh, we've done
Haven't
that.
you ever taken
Have
one of
you done
them?
one of
No,
those?
what is a
We've
DISC
done those
assessment?
That's my plaque on top of my desk that says woo and all.
Oh, that's called DISC. Yeah, no, I've had that twice.
Yeah.
I forgot
I
that.
think that's what that is. Maybe that's different.
That was
It's almost like
was
Clifton Hamlet
Gallup.
or something.
There's several of these.
That's Gallup Strength Finders though. Did the name change on it?
Well,
Anyway.
the disc is like the D is like it's your personality traits.
Mhm.
You know, so the D is like a domineering or a strong personality. There's each of the acronym letters stand for something.
Well, that is different than the one
That's
that's
different because that's strength.
This
That's
assessment is
finder.
basically it's you take a questionnaire or whatever and it rates the type of personality that you are as far as if you're a people pleaser or if you're a D is a like a domineering type person and an I is more of a people pleaser.
Sure. Imagine it's like a lot of those that you fall in a quadrant. Where
Right.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
You get 2 axes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. One of those.
I
things.
think it looks like a worthwhile endeavor, and I
Mhm.
guess I would go ahead and use to approve that request.
That was your motion. then,
It
right?
is.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no motion carried. The next thing is the Z-Trek.
7,000 in the capital improvement fund, budgeted this year. You can see it's zooming a little high, 8376. So, like we just got done discussing, everything goes up and up, never seems to go down. We tweak our capital improvement fund every year as things like this happen, and we, stay ahead of it.
Tweak a little more.
Yeah.
So yeah, recommending approval of that. The money is there, and not worried about $1,400.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We have one more thing. Back to water utility is we have the reclaim tank pump.
I'll let Weston talk about this one a little bit.
Yeah.
Because budgeted ones.
Yeah, so we have the treatment plant, and then we have the reclamation tank that was put in like in 2010. There's two pumps in there, one to discharge to the sanitary and one to actually reclaim the water back into the filtration system on the filtering. And this is the actual reclamation pump. Both pumps in there are original from 2010. They've made it a long life. Working with quality flow, kind of dropped the ball on this a little bit. He sincerely apologized. This actually happened like back in October. We sent the pump in, and he said it doesn't look good. All the bearings are shot, and they're going to need a new pump. But he kind of went MIA on me for a long period. So this is why we're here now. We probably should have been here in November or December. So this needs to get done. We need to get back to reclaiming water, and the costs that were going to be there to replace that whole pump. So, that's kind of the gist of it. We need a new one.
I'll make a motion. We buy a new pump.
Second?
Second.
Blake, second. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. The last item is resolution 0217-2026 regarding the county hazard mitigation plan.
County Emergency Manager Carl Nyquist sent me this afternoon. We've finally buttoned up on 2025 update to the Murray County Hazard Mitigation Plan. It's every 10 years, I believe. And so we adopt that, which makes us eligible for FEMA mitigation funding if anything happens, which we have gotten in the past. So it's definitely to our benefit.
I move to approve resolution 0217-2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. With no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, 18:52.